the recording. I did have a couple folks already say they would like to see a recording. So, but yeah, Megan, if you want to get started and we can kind of let you lead it for sure. And then certainly anybody that's on or has experience that wants to add anything, they can as well. So otherwise, I'll hand it over to you, Megan.
Okay, fantastic. So today we are going to go through Op City, which is a lead gen that we use over here. We actually use it for all of our offices. Um,
Raspberry, even the same.
okay, so but anyways, what we used to do in the past, I'd say probably 5 years ago, in regards to doing internet leads, which is essentially what OpCity is. We would just get a whole bunch of them, and then we'd send them out to you guys. Well, we didn't confirm if it was a true phone number, a true email, if this person was really looking, or if they're just doing a search at like 1 o'clock in the morning and then submitting their information over. So they were extremely cold leads, to say the least, for it. And then because of all of that, we had found a company called OpCity. OpCity basically has their own call center that these people, all that they do all day long is get on the phone, keep calling, keep calling, keep calling. So once we get a lead in from anyone that's looking at ERA.com, or if there's billboards or whatever it is, we send those all over to OpCity. Once OpCity gets that person live on the phone, they will confirm email is correct. Obviously, the phone number's been correct, and if they're actually looking. And at that point in time, then it gets transferred over to you guys. So I would say that these are more warm leads than cold leads because of the process that we go through with this. OpCity also has their own source of leads that they use as well too. So yes, they're calling on our ERA.coms and they're doing all of that, but then they have their own, and now they also filter it out to different companies that they work with. So for any of you that are currently on OpCity, you might see like platinum level. Anytime platinum level comes through, a lot of times they're already pre-qualified. At the very least, they're pre-approved. So the sales cycle for all of this is, by the time the person buys or sells their house, the sales cycle is usually around 6 to 8 months. So it's not really that quick of a move. However, you can get somebody and it can be closed in 30 days. But they're not having a corporation or anything like that moving them. Sometimes, and it depends on the levels of what OpCity works with, sometimes they're even getting like a cash back, or they're getting a perk through a lender. So those ones, again, are usually the ones that are more pre-qualified for it. So how it works on all of your ends is, I'll do my disclaimer, because I always do my disclaimer in the very beginning and letting you guys know, you will never be a millionaire by doing OpCity leads. Unfortunately, Jeremy will never be a millionaire through this, and God knows I will not be a millionaire from any of this, but it's another good source for you guys to have an additional sources for referrals. Basically, when it's all said and done with the referral fees and everything like that, instead of you making a 3% commission, you're basically making like a 1.25% commission once it's all said and done. So again, this is not going to be something that's like a huge money maker for you, but it could spiral into other things. So if you get somebody over that's John Smith, he buys a house in, somewhere in Florida, he buys somewhere in Fort Myers, Florida. For 2 years, we're going to have to make a payment, or we're going to have to pay a referral fee for John Smith. Okay. So John Smith buys an investment property. 6 months later, he buys another investment property. 6 months later, he buys another investment property. We will have to keep paying a referral fee on John Smith. However, if John Smith's brother or cousin or somebody else that's a neighbor in the neighborhood, you do not pay a referral fee on any of these. The only way that you will truly be successful with receiving these referrals is if you take that and you try to spiral it into another program. Or another client, sorry. Again, I oversee all of our company generated business throughout the company with relocation, with Op City, with broker to brokers, with all these different things. And none of the agents that are in it are successful just because they receive these leads and then that's it. So working on your sphere and developing your sphere bigger than this is where you will be successful with all of it. Does anybody have any questions on that part? I will put in there as an addition to if John Smith keeps buying different places. I don't know about that. So, we're not getting those referrals come in. You're dealing with John Smith one-on-one. John Smith and you have a great rapport. Op City might not even know that he's looking for a second home. But I guarantee you Op City will find that out. So you have to let us know that John Smith is doing multiple transactions. We have had, and I'd say up to 10 of these, we've had in the past year and a half that something closed 2 years ago. The agent didn't tell Op City and they didn't tell us, and John Smith kept buying. Well, guess what? We still have to pay that. So even if it's 3 years ago, Op City somehow, I don't know how they figure these out, but they do, that will come back. So again, John Smith for 2 years, any transaction he does, we have to submit it all over. John Smith's cousin, all you guys keep going for it. That's where you're going to make your money. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the process. Say that you are on the call right now and you're currently not working with Op City. Let's talk about what happens with this. So all you have to do is reach out to your manager, let your manager know. I always highly recommend nobody that is brand new to ERA and just started, hurry up and sign up for Op City, because there are a lot of systems and everything like that that you're going to learn, because once you flip that switch on, everything starts counting for you or against you. So if you are a brand new agent and just started within the past couple weeks, we can talk further about this, but I don't recommend doing it until you are comfortable with everything that ERA has to offer. Okay, so you do come to me and you say, hey, I'm interested in Op City. And I'll go through the platform in a moment, but we'll just talk about the process right now. I basically give you this spiel that I'm about to tell everybody right now. And then I have you sign an agreement. And the agreement is basically stating that these are ERA referrals. If you go anywhere, you cannot take them with you. You have to act professionally for all of these clients, and you will stay in contact with them. And that's basically all that the contract says. And then I start you up on Op City. So Op City, once you first, then it's all in your hands. I will say that. I have no control over what referrals that you get. I have no control if you're not doing updates or anything like that to basically reset you. Op City is completely on an algorithm that is their back end system. So they're grading and they're doing everything based on this algorithm. You could come out of the gate real strong and get a bunch of referrals, or you could come out of the gate and not answer your phone, not do updates, not do any of that stuff, and they will push you down the ladder. So it's extremely important that you want to do all of those items, which we'll go into a little bit further. So once you get the invitation from Op City, it is all under your control. What areas you want to pick. If you want to do a price point, any brand new agents cannot pick a price point, but whatever you want to do, or for agents that are experienced, you can pick one. And then, you can pick the hours in which you want to receive the referrals. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go in and start a territory. I highly recommend, say that you are in Cincinnati, you pick the zip code of where you live, and then you do like a 45-mile radius around there. Does anybody want to go 45 miles? Probably not, but it's good to start out huge. Get as many referrals as you possibly can in, and then prove to them that you are a good agent, and then kind of start shrinking it down. So once you pick your territory, you pick, your hours of which you're doing everything, you pick a price point. Again, I would leave everything really wide open to get as many as you can. Once you start doing that, your phone is going to start ringing, but it is going to be on a round robin, basically. So if I don't answer, Wayne goes. Wayne doesn't answer, Dan goes. Dan doesn't answer, Greg goes. And it goes really, really, really fast. So all you have to do is just pick up the phone, accept the referral, and it will go into your system. So you have that, you've accepted it. Say that you accept this referral and it's a lease and you really don't want to deal with them. You will never get dinged. You will never get in trouble or anything like that if you submit the referral back to them. It's not a problem. Like sending it back is, I used to think that you would get like dinged like crazy. It's not a problem. If you get this referral and you call them like 15 times and they're not answering, you can go ahead and release the referral back to OpCity. None of us want to stay on the phone, a million times calling one person with no success. The people that have the most success doing that are call centers. So send it back to OpCity. Let them do their job with everything. And they will keep calling and calling and calling and calling. And if they do get that person back on the phone, then they will resend it back over to you. So you will not miss out on that referral. Any questions so far, guys? I'm sorry. Okay. But anyway, so that's exactly what you want to do. Then there's going to be an app that you upload on your phone for OpCity, and then just make sure that you keep all of your updates with them. As long as you're accepting referrals and as long as you're doing your updates, again, your algorithm is going to go in the right way that you will keep receiving more. Do I have anybody on the phone right now that is currently doing OpCity?
I am. So I'll give some of my stuff when you're done, like how I work it and stuff. So
Okay.
Some stats that I have and successes. So
okay. All right, perfect. I asked if anybody's on the phone. Hopefully nobody takes offense to this, but I'm going to go ahead and share my dashboard with you guys. Okay, can everybody see my dashboard?
yes.
So obviously mine is going to look a little bit different than what the users will do, as well as any of you that are currently active on this. It's going to look a little bit different because I'm seeing the company as a whole. You are going to make sure that you upload your first thing, that when you get that OpCity thing, there's going to be a video tutorial. Just do it. I mean, it's 15 minutes long. For algorithm wise, for some reason, they bump you up right out of the gate if you do this tutorial. And then you want to upload the OpCity on your phone, the OpCity app. If you're just sitting waiting for a buyer, it's the easiest thing. They don't want a novel. I don't want a novel. You don't want to write a novel. Write 2 sentences, still looking, going to see a house next week, anything like that. Okay, so here is the company as a whole. So as you can see, once you really start moving with this, we have a lot of agents that are extremely successful in this. One agent, and I won't mention names, but he was brand new, waited a little bit until he was comfortable with ERA, and he just literally knocks it out of the park. but for some reason say that he was doing fantastic, went on vacation, forgot to snooze his alerts and things like that, wasn't answering his phone, wasn't doing updates, it will knock you off. And I can't do anything to fix it. So I'm going to go into Roy's, who is out of our Hillsborough office. And this is kind of what you guys are going to see. Hold on. So here's all his active referrals, and all of his is in green, if you could tell. If you ever log into your active referrals and anything for some reason is red, that means that you are late. So as you can see, he's number one, gets referrals all the time. Everything is green. He's good to go. Released referrals. Oh, he doesn't have any right now. There's nothing wrong with saying something was closed or released as well. You also want to say if it's holding. Sorry, I got to move my board thing up here so I can see better. I hate when it, here we go. Okay, so here are the lead settings. So again, he is like number one in all of this, so he does within 30 miles. If you want to, if I was going to go in and change this, again, I would do 45 to start off with. Wait for it. Okay, and then you can disable some zip codes. So say you don't do Kentucky, you're only a Cincinnati agent. You want to maybe disable some of those. He disabled lease to own, rent to own. Again, do not do that right out of the gate because you want as many as possible. I would accept all price ranges and I would accept all property types. Once you probably have about 3 closings, that's when you can go in and start playing with all of this. You can also snooze alerts if you wanted to. You can pick the time of everything that you wanted to do with it. You can push notifications so you're getting text messages instead. And guys, it's literally as simple as that. Let me go back, hold on. And now we're gonna go into some of the referrals. So, crap, sorry. My computer's extremely slow. If it's like pausing for you guys as well too, I just wanna show you this. Okay, so say he goes and he meets with Logan, and Logan is putting a referral in, he's putting an offer in. You want to update the status and tell them exactly what's going on with it. If Logan, for some reason, is going to be on a hold or you don't want to do anything with him, that's where you're going to change these. If Logan is, say he goes under contract, but he is in 6 months from now, he's going to be buying another property, you want to add transaction. So all of this, guys, is extremely self-explanatory. It's extremely easy, but the only way that you're going to be successful is if you're like my man Roy over here, who just knocks it out of the park. And again, as you can see, these, what I'm looking at on my dashboard is not just Ohio, it's Ohio, Kentucky, it's Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Indiana, all of Florida. It's everyone, and he's number one in the company with it. Bear with me one more second. I am not going to say and sugarcoat and say all of these referrals are beyond fantastic. You will have to kind of go through. There's going to be some of them that are great. There's going to be some of them that, you know, you can get that might not go anywhere. The great thing is if you combine this with, for those of you that are using Moxie, you can put them on like an MLS drip. You can put them on a marketing campaign and just stay in front of them. And something might come back after a year. You don't know. So utilize all the tools that ERA has. And then that way, if you're staying in front of them, if they do move, or if they do move forward with the transaction, you're going to be first in mind. Okay, so again, here you're going to see referrals up to date, the client satisfaction. These are all going in the algorithm of theirs. Sorry. Here you can always go, and if you go into stats, you can go to visit training center. Anytime you're kind of below a little bit, you want to go to the training center. For some reason, they really like their training, so it's going to bump you up. Yeah, so that is kind of it in regards to OpCity. Again, it's a very simple way to start getting another platform for you guys to be utilizing with everything. They do not have specific requirements for agents. You're either experienced or you're emerging. That is something that I have to sign you guys up with. If you are emerging, that means that basically you are under a year and under 5 transactions under your belt. If you are experienced, that obviously means that you have more than that. If you start with experienced or if you start with emerging in OpCity, they will not allow you to move up to experienced until you have 3 to 5 transactions. So I do it initially, but then after that, it's out of control. I cannot stress enough, if you could tell what I talk about with the algorithm. But I have no control. So I have agents calling me all the time saying that they are not receiving any leads. What can they do? And unfortunately, it's out of our hands. Try to do some training, try to open up your zip codes, and hopefully try to reset it a little bit more. But if you haven't done anything like that yourselves, unfortunately, it's just going to be a program that doesn't work for you. And we have, again, a lot of very successful agents that have a lot of closing and have made a decent amount of money on this, and a great amount of money from other residual clients that they've received from it. But it's all in your control. It's not under mine or anybody else's. Go ahead. What's your question, Greg?
I was wondering, do you guys have any minimum standards on communicating with leads? So, for example, before we release them, you want us to at least call them 5 times, email them 5 times, text them 10 times, etc.
Yeah, so no, for them to be released now, if you're trying for a week, that's just silly. But try for 2 weeks. If it is a lease to own and you accept it just to show that you accepted something, you can release it immediately. That's completely fine. Or say that you are a Cincinnati agent and you got a Northern Kentucky lead. Or say even the system messed up that it was for Columbus and it was actually supposed to be Columbus, Indiana, and not a Columbus, Ohio. Release them immediately. It will not count against you. I do recommend trying to call straight through for 2 weeks before you release them and say you cannot get a hold of them. But again, that's not going to count against them. If OpCity gets a hold of them, it automatically goes back to the agent. So
Okay,
yeah.
and then a follow-up question of that, is there a how often does OpCity want updates in the system?
So OpCity will ask for every 2 weeks unless they are on hold, and then they're asking for once a month. And once the person has the OpCity app in the phone, it will let them know that an update is due. So it's really easy that they're already reaching out. You don't have to save something in your phone like update Kyle Smith. You don't have to do any of that. They're going to ask you, and they're going to ask for the update a day or 2 before it's due. You do have to put it in there as pending as soon as it goes pending, because obviously if a homeowner is looking for something, or a buyer is looking for something, they're not going to know when that goes into contract. So you do have to update it as the update status as soon as possible. We do tend to get more buyers than we do listings through this system for all areas. So just a heads up on that too. Tiffany, did you have a question?
I did, yeah. My prior agency or brokerage is still showing on OpCity. So I was wondering, how do I update it to show that I'm with ERA, not Colwell anymore? Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
Tiffany, as long as you're in our system, just delete the app and reinstall it.
For situations like that, make sure that you come to me for it, because OpCity no longer works with individuals. They only work with brokerages. So Tiffany, I have to follow up with that, and I will make sure that I do that right after we get off the phone.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And then agents will come to me and say, hey, I was trying to sign up with OpCity and I was going through the app and nobody's helping me and I can't log on. Again, that's because they don't work with individuals anymore moving forward. They haven't for about 7 years. They only deal with brokerages. So we have to submit it over to them in order for you to get approved over for it. So if you get off this call and you're like, yes, I absolutely need to do OpCity, don't try to do it on your own, because they won't approve it. And then you're running around, and then a week later you give me a call and say that it's not working, and that's the reason why. So anybody that wants to do it for managers, they do have to go through me. Good questions though. Sorry about that, Tiffany. I didn't see it, but we will get that fixed immediately.
Oh, no worries. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anybody else? I just did a lot of talking, guys, and I hate the sound of my voice after a while.
Well, I'll just add my experiences with OpCity. So I, as many of you know or may not know, I work with all the agents in the company, but I also sell on my own. I'm in New York, so I've used OpCity for about 5 years now, and so just some experiences. This is just the real thing. So Greg, you asked how long you should hang on to someone. So I've just figured out that I'm going to hang on to them till they tell me not to talk to them again. So, and that's just my thing. So I figured out a system that I don't stress about it. I don't, they're on a listing alert. They're on like some sort of like neighborhood news with Moxie, and they get a text from me once a month with just, hey, I'm still here if you need me. And then I just got to update OpCity. So in the reason is if I really thought about it and was like, oh man, this is the 10th time I've called them, why am I bothering? Yeah, it'll stress you out. That just think of it along the lines of like, well, so in doing that, one of my stats is the longest I've gone without literally talking to someone was 9 months, and they showed up and bought, I don't know, like a $200,000 property, just like completely out of the blue. And they were like, oh, thank you for sending all that stuff to me over the last 9 months. And I'm like, oh, geez, I thought I was wasting my time. So, so just think like literally people will just come out of nowhere. And when they're ready, they're going to need an agent. And if you had them and let them go, they're going to look for another agent when it comes time. So, so just think about that. And everyone's different. So, but setting them up on things, and I just use an app called WhatsApp. So I can mass text my whole OpCity group. And I send one text and it goes to every single one of my OpCity leads, and it takes me, and that is something I put in my phone for the third Monday of each month. It's just text OpCity, and I literally go on WhatsApp and I say, hey, just here, just checking on you guys. Let me know if you need anything. And I send it out, and it goes to, I think I have maybe 18 leads right now on OpCity. So again, it's a personal touch that I don't put much effort into thinking about it, but the reminder, I do it, so, and that's one thing. So, and then also, one of my leads is almost 4 years old. I don't ever talk to him. He is on my list. He is in my MLS looking at my listing alerts every single day. So again, yes, I have to update him. I haven't talked to him in 4 years, but he is still looking at those. So, so again, it's just kind of that figure out what's right for you. But don't be too quick to just toss leads aside.
Hey, but the good thing with that is you wouldn't have to pay a referral fee on that.
Correct. Yeah. My next thing is take every lead. So I get messages all day long, and I can't tell you how many I get that just say, when you get your notification, it'll kind of give you an idea. This is where this person's looking, and this is the general price range. And I cannot tell you how many I get that just say under 60,000. In everything, I'm sure, Megan, you've probably heard this 100 times. I don't want, I'm not dealing with that. Like, why would I even bother? Well, I've had 2 leads so far under 60. One bought a little over 500,000, and one was almost 700,000. So take the leads. If you realize, on the second communication that they are truly looking for this or that, and it's just not going to work, and they're not real, whatever, deal with it after. But just the fact that, it's not always, they're not always, truthful, or they don't even know at the time when they talk to, OpCity or the realtor folks, but there's a chance that it can be something much bigger. So just think about that as well. And the last thing I'll say is I have 3 folks that I have gotten 11 deals from either after the 2 years since I sold them something, or referrals with their family. So I have 11 deals that are full commission outside of this, the OpCity deal, since I've been doing this. So again, take the lead. Get what you can out of it. Be good to them. They're going to come back to you, and then be good to them. And there's another referral source. They're in your sphere. They're part of your world now, because then they're going to refer you out to their family and friends. And like Megan said, anything outside of that, full commission, full whatever, you're not paying a referral fee to OpCity at that point. So yeah, that's just my, I just wanted to make sure you guys, kind of got the realtor part but work it, you see Roy, my gosh, selling 10 million. I guarantee you he's got, another whatever on top of that, with deals outside of OpCity, with referrals with folks he's helped and stuff. So I guarantee that could be almost doubled or close to it. So just think about it, is that. And the last thing I'll say is the app. The app is great. It's on your phone. Set it for the pop-up notifications, and if you're available, because they're going to call you the second, 30 seconds after you accept a lead, they're going to call you. So if you can, hit the button and accept it, and then just go with it. So
yeah, and Wayne's correct. I mean, it's all over the board in regards to the amount of referral fee, or the amount of referrals that come in. Very rarely will we have something that's going to close for $60,000. I mean, any area that we're in, I mean, it's just, you're not going to find much with it unless you're finding like land or anything like that. But keep them, put them on drips, and they might realize that this is just not the market for them. But you will get, $130,000 referrals. We get $1 million referrals all the time. We get $550,000 referrals. So it's legitimately all over the board in regards to what kind of client that we get and the amount of money that we get. So yes, it might stink to do, the 100,000s a couple times, but then right around the corner, you don't know if there's a 550. Also, if this is a person's, first transaction and they're buying for $100,000, they might be your client for life, that they keep upgrading in what they're buying for their home. So just keep all those things in mind. And then we just had a chat that Pamela asked, what are the referral fees for OpCity? So again, what it basically breaks down to is about 1.25% that you're going to make in commission. How that is broken down is, you are OpCities used to always standard charge 35%, but now they're kind of, again, going out and working with different kind of clients. So sometimes they have a platinum level. That's a 40% referral fee. So when accept the referral. When in doubt, always just reach out to me and ask what the level of referral fee is on that. And then after that, you are paid at a 70-30 split. Okay, after your if you have a fee on it, so a 70-30 split. And the reason for that is, unlike doing Zillow, that people purchase zip codes, or realtor.com and people purchase zip codes, Jeremy has actually purchased all of these zip codes, pays for UpCity, everything like that right out of the gate. He pays that twice a year, so he writes these huge checks for that. But you guys are not paying a single dime until you close. So there are, again, some agents that do Zillow $500 a month, and maybe they get a transaction out of it. I've heard different things that's kind of the leads have gone down a little bit. But we pay everything up front, and you guys are not paying until closing. So again, instead of the 3% commission, you're making about a 1.25. It's going to make a difference if it's the 35% standard referral fee, or if they have a higher client, that's the 40% referral fee. And again, that's all from UpCity.
And I'll just add to that, because she said, Wayne's, when I mentioned maybe not having a referral fee, that's if you do a deal with one of your folks after the 2-year period. So UpCity has a 2-year, if they do any deals in 2 years, you pay that. But I also referred to, you're dealing with John Smith, but John Smith's brother calls you up. You have no referral fee with that. That's a clean deal for you. So that's kind of what I was talking about with, being outside of the UpCity referral fees. So if that makes sense, Pamela, if you want to.
Hi, Megan. I know that you said you have obviously no control over the algorithm, which totally makes sense to me. But is there a way, like if I've never filled out any of the forms and the zip codes, like I don't remember seeing any communications potential, I missed it. Would I be washed out by then if I say I started in September, if I haven't done anything yet?
No, and Kyle, I think I sent you over the invitation for UpCity, but I don't think you ever completed it. So I'll resend it over to you. It's when you get UpCity, it's not the invitation, it's when you accept it and you do your full profile. So you've picked your zip code, you've picked everything.
Okay.
That's when the green line is on, that they start doing all that stuff. But you're kind of just like a waiting on the sidelines, not actually playing the game yet. So yeah, I'll resend that to you today.
Okay, I did just look, and I think it was probably from when we were around the fuel time.
Yeah.
It does look like it expired. I just must have missed it. So yeah, that'd be awesome. I'll fill that out today.
Yeah, Kyle, I think I sent it at fuel. So yes, that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. I'll do that, and I'll get Tiffany straightened out as well too. Anybody else having any issues or anything like that? Okay. If you guys want to email me, it's just megan@erarealsolutions.com. If you are not currently up and running on the system and you want to get started, because we did this call, you guys missed my whole spiel that we do one-on-one, unless you have any questions with it, and then we could do it. But yeah, again, it's an easy system. As long as you just stay on top of it, you can make a good amount of money from them, or make good amount of clients from them.
Yeah, just make sure you do the updates when they're due. They will shut you off. And so I think I think maybe they give you like a 2-day period, when you should have updated. Then they'll pause you, and once you update, you're back on it. But then, of course, if you go 30 days, if for whatever reason, they shut you off totally. So just make sure you do the updates, and and that's, I'll be honest, that's kind of a pain, especially if you have 20 or whatever. But if you're working them, and they're on listing alerts, and they're on the neighborhood news, and if you're working them, then like Megan said, just pop in there, and I literally will put listing alerts and neighborhood news and copy it and just paste it into every single one of my leads. Cause I know I'm working them. If you're doing it just to get by and you're not actually working them, well, you're probably going to lose contact with those folks. So, work them, but then just kind of make the updating process easier on yourself. So.
Okay, well, if nobody has any questions or anything like that, Wayne, do you have anything else or?
No, I think that's awesome. I think it was great to, to have it out. We'll put this, obviously reach out to Megan directly with questions, but this recording will be on the, in the learning library in the agent hub. If you have any questions or just want to rewatch it, or if you know of anybody that missed it, you can let them know. But yeah, otherwise it was great. So appreciate your time, Megan.
Of course, anytime. Yeah, guys, give me a call with any questions at all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you attending.
Thank you.